All right, what's up, everyone? This is the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice show. Got just 3 games to talk about for tonight. Some pretty good ones, actually. I think pretty fun ones to watch, at least. Hopefully, you guys are still afloat. Hopefully, you survived the Calgary 1 complete onslaught. Man, I looked away for 20, 30 minutes in the third period, and all of a sudden Gaudreau had 20 points on DK. So that was pretty crazy. 6-point game, I think, for Gaudreau, and at chalk, no less. So, once you're to the 3 or 4 point mark, it doesn't really matter when you're that owned. You're not really gaining a ton on anyone, but yeah, wow, the Devils, they've got some real issues, and we do get the Devils again tonight. So that's probably going to be a team you want to target. I don't know. I think there's a bunch of pretty clear plays tonight, and I've got some crunches done. I haven't done everything just yet, but man, I feel like I could start this slate probably in the next 15 minutes if I really needed to. It doesn't look too challenging, and the pricing's soft. So on short slates, I like when they do that because then you're going to get less people stacking. You're going to get more people forcing in higher price players, and you guys know kind of my strategy is leave money on the table and go with the correlation, I think, in general. There's always specific cases where you don't necessarily have to do that, or that's probably not the optimal way to go, but I'll leave 1K on the table rather than get up to, I don't even know, whoever your one-off guy is. So should be a pretty fun 3-gamer. I think this Toronto Chicago game is nationally televised, so actually let me check on that. Does anybody know if this game's on NBCSN? It has to be, right? It's Wednesday night, rivalry night. So I hope we get the national broadcast for this one. Yeah, we do. And then the Oilers game is the other one. So they've got a doubleheader tonight. Good stuff, man. So just get to watch the Blackhawks get absolutely demolished, and then get to watch the best player in the world, Connor McDavid, right after that. So it should be pretty good. You'll basically get to watch the whole game if you are watching tonight, the whole Blackhawks game, and then the slate won't really even start until like the second or third period of the Oilers game. So everyone's going to be around. Everyone's going to be live, I should say, going into the last couple games. So wouldn't look at scores until 11 Eastern, probably at the earliest. You're just going to tilt yourself one way or the other because a lot's going to change with these last 2 games with all the concentrated ownership and such. And definitely a good night for late swap if you are chasing. Let's say you fade the Leafs. You're going to want to get off probably like McDavid. Let's say you fade the Leafs and they score 5 and whatever, both the top 2 lines do pretty well. You're going to need to chase. You're going to need to get on some Devils. You're going to need to get on some Rangers type of thing. So it is a good night for that. I know Nolan's been looking more into late swap stuff. I don't know if he's got an article out just yet, or if he's working on one, or if there's not really a ton to talk about today as far as news. A couple guys returning. Tanev is returning for Vancouver. And then Kapanen is out for the Leafs. And I think Klefbom's supposed to play, which I'm a little surprised about. Rangers 3? Rangers 3? What's the Rangers 3 talk? Is that the trendy stack tonight? Rags 3? Let's see. Where do I have them? Yeah, I don't. Let's see. Let's see where I'm at. I mean, I have a couple shares of them. because I'm playing 150 tonight on a 3-game slate. So, yeah, I do have a few shares of Rangers 3, but I wouldn't say that I'm going to be super heavy on them. Or intentionally super heavy on them. No one's going to play them, though, again, tonight because you just don't need to with the salary. So if you full stack it and somehow they get a full line goal and do a little bit more, you might be okay, depending on how the slate goes. How did you guys end up last night? Did anybody think anything? I certainly did not. I got cleaned out pretty good, so I didn't get swept, but I probably got back like 30% of my entries, which is pretty bad. Would not recommend doing that. Oh yeah, thanks to whoever's running the Osmo.com YouTube account right now. I'm assuming that's probably Brett. Guys, go read that tweet. You retweet the tweet. You tag 2 friends, and you just answer the tweet, and you can win a free month of Osmo.com Premium. So do that. It's free outside of a couple minutes of your time. Did well with Calgary. Nice. Took down the 444 breakaway on FanDuel. Nice. Doubled up. Thanks. Yeah. No, that's all you. I played Calgary 1 and Calgary PP1. Did great. Yeah. That's pretty good. Played a guy who had Flames and Boone Jenner, right? Let's go to Fantasy Cruncher quick and look at these lineups. There's just some crazy scores going on. And I thought, well, I'll find the lineup. So this is Fantasy Cruncher, guys. Promo code Hit the Ice. You get a free, you get 50% off your first month of Osmo.com Premium. Pretty good deal. Use that promo code Hit the Ice to do that. And then you'll get access to stuff like Fantasy Cruncher, my projections, Osmo's rankings, all the good stuff. To get to this page, you would just go here, DraftKings. So we're going to look at contest data from yesterday. Oh wait, this is I'm sorry. This is from today. Let's go to Fantasy Cruncher Rewind. All right, tools. And we did switch some stuff up on the home page. So switched around our layout, so bear with us as you guys get used to that. DraftKings Rewind, this is free for everyone. So I would recommend going to this page. Even if you don't have Fantasy Cruncher, if you're thinking about it, use Fantasy Cruncher Rewind. And you basically get to test out the product before you pay for it. See if it's for you. Yeah, so as you see there, not good. Didn't max it or anything, but definitely did not do very well. Testosterone, of course, near the top. Okay, so you had Bishop, Calgary 1, Devils 1. Oh, game stack here, nice. He doesn't do a lot of game stacking, but he had the nut goalie, the nut defenseman, a really good secondary defenseman as well, and Schultz. I thought this was Druby from Daily Roto. There we go. Of course, near the top. Nothing new there. Yeah, he basically, I mean, he was a one-off. Or no, I'm sorry, he had Nashville, so he's a little bit different than what Testosterone had. But where was it at? It was this guy. Just the purest lineup that you could ever imagine. Where was it at? Yeah, right here. Gets the Vlasic ceiling game, goal, 2 assists, Werenski ceiling game. Okay, Bergeron, Marchand, Heinen. I mean, yeah, you'd expect them to go off every once in a while. Plays a Columbus line, so I did not play Columbus lines. I X'd them out. I was getting to a couple shares of these guys earlier in the day, but ultimately ended up just Xing them out. I didn't think that there was any way Columbus lines are going to stay together. So yeah, just did not work out there for me. But this Josh Anderson ceiling game gets the shutout there. I mean, he had a 12-point lead going into the last game, third period, and he just like I looked at the leaderboard and saw the 20 points from Gaudreau. I was like, man, that's a pretty bad beat. You're up that much, and then the chalk line just goes completely nuts. Brick up here, nothing new there. A lot of familiar faces up here, or familiar names, I should say. Pecorine has been rough lately. Yeah, he has been pretty rough. Had a good night, made enough to get my daughter milk for her Cocoa Puffs this morning. Nice. If I had Bishop, I would have scored 90. Wait, Raj, you had... Wait, where are you at here? Raj, what's your username here? You would have had 90 with Bishop? Where are you at? Oh, you're not there? Oh, okay. Different tournament? 90 with if you would have had Bishop in there? That's outrageous. I mean, these are some of the biggest scores you'll ever see on DK. Just crazy. This is like showdown scores. Yeah, so crazy slate. I knew I was dead right away when Columbus was going off, but luckily there were other things on TV that I could watch. I had a 78 from with a 0 from my goalie. Woof. 71.9 on DK with the forecheck. Only paid $60. Yeah, that's tough. It's tough when the chalk goes off like that. I mean, because you might have a big score, but if you don't have the best of the best, you're still not cashing that much. Columbus changed their lines before the game. Did they? I must have missed that. Was it Jenner with Foligno and Anderson? If so, then these people really ran pure. They moved Anderson to line 2. Anderson, Duchesne, Zingle. No, I think we knew that. I think we knew that line was going to happen because I remember seeing a couple hours before lock when Tortorella spoke, he said that he really liked that line, the Anderson, Duchesne, and Zingle. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm sure. I was even saying in the chat, I was like, there's no way that line stays together. And, yep, they did stay together. At least enough to score a bunch of goals. Man, this guy crushed. First, third, fourth, sixth. Not using a lot of uniques there. Interesting. Bob was a big letdown. That dude locked Calgary. Did he really? Calgary. Now this is a interesting line of construction here. So he's got Calgary 1, but a Bennett 1 off as well. I don't know that I've seen a ton of that. Yeah, okay, so this guy just crushed. Yeah, looks like it was just lock button Calgary. I mean, not a terrible idea probably on a... Actually, no, that yesterday wasn't even a short slate. It was 8 games. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do it. Maybe a younger me, a more, riskier me would have done it. But yeah, it's literally... Oh, okay. You still got Gaudreau. Interesting. Like, he's playing 2 different Calgary lines. Oh, yeah, he's locking... I mean, a ton of Bishop here, too. Rittich wasn't that great, but yeah, a lot of Bishop. Binnington was a letdown. Murray was solid. Yeah. I mean, when you do that, you're going to have big nights like that every once in a while. I don't know that that's the best long-term strategy, but really, really awesome lineups. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking too, Matt. Like, the Flames ownership was surprisingly low. I didn't think they were going to be that chalky compared to some of the other stacks. I don't know. So like 20% was doable, I think. I had about 20% of them. I just didn't have anywhere near the right combos. So Gaudreau was 37% in my FanDuel 50-50. Really? Calgary won me some money last night? Yeah, I mean, Calgary was the only thing winning anybody money last night. If you didn't have Calgary, you could have got a good night's rest. Anyways, I want to see what Alex did, actually. Did he do anything weird? He did. He did it again. Okay, he's doing 3-2-1 forwards on bigger slates. Not here. But like Derek Ryan, Gaudreau, Monahan, Lindholm. This is crazy, man. I've never seen Alex do this. I mean, I've seen him doing it on shorter slates. But okay, like Dubinsky, Anderson, Crosby one-off, Monahan, Gaudreau. I don't know what the rationale is. I don't get it. But I mean, there's obviously a method to the madness. He's not just gonna play huge volume every night. And I mean, he's either testing something out or he sees an edge in this sort of lineup construction. I mean, it has to be. Like at some point, the double 3-man stack ceases to be effective if everyone's doing it. Right, if everyone's doing it. But you see examples of most people aren't every night, which to me is a little bit crazy. Like, okay, Gaudreau is at 22%. Lindholm is 7% less than him. It just doesn't make sense. So at most, 2/3 or a little more than 2/3 have all of Lindholm, Monahan, and Gaudreau. You know? So people aren't doing that enough, I don't think. Verana, half the ownership of Backstrom. I don't know, man. He's got me really interested in it. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if he keeps continuing to do this. He stopped doing it for a while. Maybe it does depend on the lines. Maybe it depends on the pricing. I have no idea. I don't know. Again, maybe we could get him on. Actually, you know, let's look at Monday. Did he do this on Monday as well? Two-man. This was like a... There's my dummy lineup. Where are we at here? Draisaitl, Kassian. Okay, so that's just 3-3. This is just... You sounded so shook with Boston 1 going off, so I played them and won something. You did? Yeah, I played one lineup as well of them, and it was looking good, obviously, until Calgary 1 went completely bonkers. Let's see, he's not doing it here. Man. I don't understand. Oh wait, he did do it here. Juhar Kara, one-off. Jeez. So maybe he's doing it with some of his lineups, but not all? I wonder. Couturier, Giroux, Lindblom, those guys were together. Kucherov, Point Stamkos. Couturier, Giroux, Lindblom. Okay, those guys were all together as well. These guys were all together. Draisaitl, McDavid, Cahoon, Kassian. Oh, how owned do you guys think? All right, let's say McDavid is like, let's be aggressive. Let's say he's 50% tonight. How owned, if McDavid is 50%, how owned do you guys think Kassian will be? So on this slate, 2 days ago, McDavid was 28% on a 7-gamer. Keep in mind, soft pricing, and there's a lot of other good spots. Not a lot of other good spots. There's one other really obvious spot. 15 to 18, 29, 25, 25, 15, 20, around half. Right. Yeah, I don't know if McDavid will be 50. I just wanted to have a number. Just a random number, honestly. Yeah, I mean, it would be way under 50 if McDavid's 50. Austin Matthews might be 50. I think McDavid is the highest owned player on the slate. I don't know that it matters. I mean, you're getting into just a few percent between McDavid and Tavares and Matthews. So it doesn't matter all that much, but he's like, Kassian's going to be way, way lower owned. And he has been chipping in pretty well. And he's super cheap. People are going to leave him off. You need the Kassian ceiling game if you're full stacking. Not ceiling game, but you just, if Kassian could somehow get a goal and an assist, and even if Draisaitl and McDavid are getting the assists, you're going to have a huge edge if that ends up being the nut stack. McDavid will by far be the highest owned player. That's what I think. I think he's going to be the highest owned. You got 2 options on Toronto, at least 2 options. Kadri as well, 3 options. Kassian might go lower than you think. A lot of people putting Chase on in that wing spot due to PP1 correlation. Yeah. So they might just leave him off. I mean, you guys can see how easy it is to make a lineup. Like, we can do this right now. So maybe people will start like this. They'll go, all right, who do I like here? Oh, this line was pretty good last time. All right, cool. Now we'll put in Clefbaum. He's power play 1. Maybe this isn't the greatest example, but all right, let's see. I can punt with Carrick or Will Butcher or whatever. Yeah, this isn't the best example, but Koskinen. Okay, that's actually something that you should probably do. You can just full stack that. Let's go to all right, this will be a popular combo right here. Marleau, Kadri, people think they're being sneaky with Toronto 3 and Edmonton 1. I don't think it'll be that sneaky. But in this case, both Brown and Kassian, one of those 2 guys is going to get upgraded on most people's lineups. Even if you go with expensive Morgan Riley, say, all right, well, maybe I'll just take out Kassian and go Clefbaum right there. Now you take out the plug, quote unquote, and then you can just one-off elsewhere. Who's cheap here? Who's cheap? People like Levo? All right, there you go. There's Levo. And there you have it. It's just so easy for people to click out of the lesser-known guys. But Kassian's been sticking with McDavid, which I didn't think was going to happen, but he has been. I guess they've had some okay success. I mean, all they have to do is get to overtime, and then McDavid will score, right? Seems like it happens every single time. Clefbaum is supposed to play, I believe. Nolan, do you know? Are you watching still, Nolan? All right, anyways, let's go through these games real quick. Blackhawks, Maple Leafs, Corey Crawford, and Frederik Andersen, 3.1 implied for the Hawks, 4 for the Leafs. As far as line matching goes here, probably going to see Tavares go up against Nismov, Cahoon, and Patrick Kane. And then probably some against the Tays line when Kane is on with Tays and Saad. I really, really love both the top two lines for the Leafs. I think Chicago is going to be a little bit overowned. The Leafs aren't like my favorite team to target. I like targeting them with good defensemen. So I am on a couple of the Chicago defensemen tonight. But probably going to be under the field on the Hawks. I mean, I kind of like the Tays-Saad combo here. If they're going to go up the most against Matthews, and you can go Tays, Saad, and Kane, I think Sakura is probably playable after we saw him play a full game last time out. He basically stuck with them the whole time. Kane saw just 1 minute with Tays and Saad. Now, it was a little bit different of a situation because the Hawks got up so big in the first period, and so maybe they're just trying out Sakura. I think if this game is close, or if the Blackhawks get down early, we're going to see a lot of Kane with Tays and Saad. So, again, I think you can play Sakura. I'm more okay with it tonight, but I think you can also play Tays with Kane and Saad if you just want to do that. Just play better players, I suppose. It gets really pricey if you are playing all those three. Where do you think Sakura will be? I mean, it's possible Kane just gets double shifted a bunch of times, especially at the end of the first and second period, and then in the third, if it's even close at all, if it's within like 2 goals, Kane's going to be playing a lot of minutes, and on both power plays, likely. So, if you want to play Anisimov, Cahoon, and Kane together, that's okay. I just think that the people that do use optimizers, that's going to get overused just because those two guys are going to come up as decent values, and then you've got obviously a really good raw point projection here on Kane in what should be a high-paced matchup. The Tavares line isn't great defensively, so it's not like they can't get there, but I'm at about like 10 to 12% of that line is a full stack, and then I'm going to try to mix in some Tays, Saad, and Kane lines as well. Tays, Saad, and Kane lineups. So those three stacked together. I shouldn't say lines. That gets real confusing when you're talking about hockey. And it's also incorrect. It's lineups, not lines. So what do we got going on here? I would have finished second in the mini-max and made like $500 more if it wasn't for Brett Ned with 1 million entries with Calgary stacked every way. Yeah, took a risk and it paid off, looks like. Wish he was with Tays or DeBrincat. Yeah. I mean, of course you wish he was with Tays and DeBrincat, but with this, I think you just get a little bit more creative in your portfolio, which is what I'm going to try to do. Still would like to play Kane on as many Blackhawks lineups as I have. He's kind of what makes that entire team go, just putting the team on his back. So I would like to get to him in whatever stacks that I'm going to. On as far as depth lines here go, Strome, DeBrincat, and Pierlini, they had success in their last game. I don't think that's going to be a very good defensive line, but I don't also think the Kadri line, and I know the Matthews line, isn't going to be great defensively either. So while I don't really love the line, I don't love the price that you're getting with Strome, Pierlini, and DeBrincat together. I definitely do understand it. I just hate that they went off last game. So I'm not going to be super heavy on Chicago 3 either. As far as Leafs lines go, I rank them basically as you see them on your screen. So Tavares is my number 1 exposed. And then Matthews, not too far behind. Man, Andreas Janssen and Will Nylander are just way, way too cheap. So that line is under 15K in total. Going to get a good matchup no matter which line they go up against. Like, it's just outrageous how cheap that line is. That being said, I do have them a little bit behind Toronto 1. That might be somewhat of a hot take. I'm not exactly sure. I think it's going to be pretty even between the top 2 lines for Toronto. And then I'm going to have some Kadri just because they're also super cheap. And like I said, I don't think the Strome line's any good. I'm sure they're going to go up against the Tays line a little bit as well. So just, I think a ton to like on the Leaf side. It's just a matter of allocating the different exposures you want to each different line. You can fit them with Edmonton 1 on FanDuel. Yeah, you can basically fit Toronto 2, the Matthews line, with anyone on tonight's slate, which should never be the case. With the 4 implied total, you should not be able to play Austin Matthews and his line mates, who are also good, for under 15K. It just shouldn't happen. So, defenseman here on the Hawks side, I think I prefer Seabrook, actually. I wish he was playing on top power play, so Gustafson's probably the better correlation play, but just as a one-off, I think I do like Seabrook here a little bit better, and I don't think he's going to be very owned. I think it's a pretty good chance for block shots here for Seabrook and anyone who's willing for the Hawks. Also, Morgan Riley, got to be considered one of the top plays on the entire slate. He's expensive, but you get extra correlation when you play him with either of the top 2 lines, and even the third line if you play him with Kadri. I don't really love Muzzin's price there for 5,100. Looks like Osmo agrees. It's just kind of a so-so value, a C value. Again, I think you're probably okay punting with Dahlstrom or Forsling. Neither of them are great, but if you for some reason need a mid-salary defenseman, first of all, you probably have a pretty unique lineup if you actually do need a mid-salary defenseman tonight, because the pricing's pretty soft. But if for whatever reason you do last man in, your power play stacking the Leafs or whatever, I think both of those guys are probably okay. Freddie Anderson's going to be one of my highest exposed goalies, so that'll be a surprise to no one. All right, next game. Devils and the Oilers, 2.5 implied total for the Devils, 3.5 for the Oilers. Corey Schneider going up against probably Mikko Koskinen. We're going to have some very heavy McDavid chalk here, which makes sense. He's the best player in the entire world. He's playing with Draisaitl, a third line mate that's also cheap. So if you're stacking, really nothing wrong about this matchup. He's probably going to go up against Zajac for a good amount of time. And, man, that Zajac line was pretty poor defensively last night. I will look up their numbers again so I can actually reference real numbers instead of just saying that they're bad, if Natural Stat Trick will cooperate. But, man, the Devils as a whole they just got completely clobbered. And obviously the Flames are a better team than the Oilers, but McDavid's the best player in the world, and he's got a good line mate, and also Zach Kassian on his line. So I'm not saying that they're going to pound them. They're going to create 34 or 38 scoring chances at even strength, like what Calgary did last night. That's not even counting the power play. But man, I don't know how McDavid does not create a million chances tonight, back to back as well. And then the scoring for Edmonton is so concentrated too. So you don't see big totals like this from them all that often, but when you do, it's like, man, McDavid is he seems like such a lock for a multi-point game here. So Coleman with Zajac and Palmieri last night, 12 minutes, they gave up 14 shot attempts, 5 scoring chances, 4 high danger chances. That's pretty bad, folks. I mean, they're just... just from a scoring chances perspective, they were bad. I don't know. They ended up giving up a bunch of goals. Like I said, I wasn't watching, but just from reading that on Natural Stat Trick, they got it handed to them pretty good. And back-to-back, still rolling out an AHL team. And now you get McDavid, the fastest player in the league, probably. The best player in the league. they're going to have a pretty tough time trying to contain him. So maybe they try to slow it down. Maybe they change their strategy entirely. I just have a hard time seeing them actually being able to slow down Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. And they're also taking a good amount of penalties as well. That's not going to help here. Is there a reason why Augustino doesn't have a grade? They need a certain number of games to qualify. He had 4 points yesterday and is super cheap. Augustino? Oh, I know why. That's because at some places he's Ken Augustino, and then some places he's Kenny, depending on which site you're on. So that's why he's probably just not getting recognized in Alex's rankings. I would guess Augustino is probably an A or B value grade and maybe a B or C points grade, if I had to guess. But he's min salary, so you'd like him on the top line with Zajac and Palmieri. That was a pretty good spot for him, but he got moved off, as you saw yesterday, in this line. They should be able to generate. I think they're going to be able to generate offensively, the Zajac line. I just think these two are going to trade chances at best. So I do like the Devils' top line, fully correlated. I like Coleman as a player, and he's priced way down, and he's going to play a lot of minutes. Oilers have a bad kill, so if they could somehow draw a couple penalties, maybe you see a path to them having a bunch of success tonight. And we are still talking about the Oilers. They do let down quite a bit. But yeah, these would be the three guys I'm looking at. I don't know that I'm going to try to get cute with this second line. I know they're all min salary, but like I said, I just don't know if you really need that tonight. And then AHL, all these guys. So Severson and Devils 1. If you want to punt, I would go Carrick over Butcher, but Butcher actually hasn't been too bad as far as taking a few more shots lately, and he's playing decent minutes as well. So that will pretty much do it for the Devils side. I don't know what to say besides play McDavid. I know he's going to be super chalky. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to contain him. So maybe I'll eat my words later tonight. But yeah, this seems like another spot where the Devils are going to get cratered pretty good. No thank you on a min salary line. What's your point? I think McDavid and Draisaitl are the most dynamic duo in hockey besides Point and Cooch. I saw one, I don't know who, some Oilers fan was tweeting about how, basically saying Draisaitl's got the it factor when McDavid was out for those couple games, and saying that McDavid lacks the will to win or some stupid shit like that. Okay. I just remember that now that you're talking about the dynamic duo. Just don't ever listen to someone that says that McDavid's not the best player. He's absolutely incredible. So he's just got a terrible organization that doesn't want him to win. The will to win, best metric in sports. Yep. It was I imagine this, some old white dude, probably an old school guy. I don't know what his deal was, but the new thing for Oilers Twitter is to hate on McDavid. Maybe it's not new, but I'm just seeing more of it. Which, how can you hate on that guy? Just does nothing but produce with complete plugs around him. There's a bunch of people that do it. It wasn't just this one guy, but I just remembered that tweet now. All right, moving on. You can play, I think you can play Larson for 3,700 outside of the obvious Clefbaum and Darnell Nurse. Sekera is min salary again. I don't think you really need him, but if you do need a min salary guy playing on one of the power plays against the Devils, who are taking a bunch of penalties and just getting crushed at 5-on-5, I think is probably an okay strategy. The That's really about it. Yeah, Clefbaum is supposed to play tonight. So I thought he wasn't going to play. I saw he got hit in the groin, and that's why he left. Sounds very painful. So hopefully he's got everything under control down there. It seems like he would be, basically at full strength if he is able to go. I'd imagine if it was that painful that he would not be playing. So, all right. Did I mention Nurse? I think you can still play Nurse as well just because he's not on the power play, the top power play. I still think you can play him. He's going to be really low owned compared to Clefbaum just because of the difference in power play 1 and power play 2. People in Chicago know all about the will to win. The White Sox Hall of Fame announcer Hawk Harrelson has been saying it for years. The will to win. Yeah, anybody who uses that as analysis, I can't listen to that. Just not my kind of analysis. I like numbers. I do think that the eye test also matters. But yeah. That's quite the metric, the will to win. I'm sure McDavid is the best player in the world, despite not wanting to win. I'm sure that's exactly what it is. He just doesn't want it enough, right? He just does not want it enough. Just ridiculous to say. All right, last game of the night. This should be a fun one. We've got the Rangers and the Canucks, 2.9 implied total for the Rangers, 3.1 for the Canucks. Has this total gone up a little bit? I thought it was like 2.7 and 2.8 or 2.9 for the Canucks earlier today. So I'm just seeing the new total now. Oh, he just says the initials? TWTW? Oh, my God, that's even worse. Because then he thinks it's an actual thing, you know? Like RBI, runs batted in, you know? Yeah, that's something. All right, so matching here, I don't exactly know how it's going to go, but we've got Lundqvist in net, we've got Markstrom in net. They're actually, I take that back. I think I do know how matching is going to go to some extent. We're probably going to see the Pettersson line go up against the Zibanejad for a good amount of time. It may be split with the Horvat line, but that's kind of a new thing Vancouver's been doing lately, and that line's not great defensively. They're okay, I think average at best in terms of high danger chances and scoring chances. So basically what it told me is I don't have to avoid the Zibanejad line, which is what I really wanted. And I do really like the Zibanejad line. They're way too cheap. Hedl on the top line at 2,900 is a bargain. He's offensively talented. I don't know that he's a big shot volume guy. I wouldn't expect him to be a big shot volume guy, but you don't really have to be for 2,900 playing with Zibanejad. Nemesnikov on the top power play as well. And then, like I said, pretty decent even strength matchup. Even if they go up against Horvat, I think they're going to be okay. You'd rather have them go up against the Pettersson line. The Rangers lines are not confirmed, Matt, but I think it's going to be decently easy to swap if, for whatever reason, someone else moves up there. I think it was Jesper Fast who swapped with Hedl in the last game. I did see that they did some moving around in the last game. The Rangers did, but Hedl did play a good amount with Zibanejad and Nemesnikov. You know, you'd really like to see Kreider together with Zibby. I mean, I would. He's 5,300. He's too cheap. You could still play Zibanejad with Nemesnikov and Kreider. I think that would be a pretty smart thing to do, or even Pavel Buchnevich. I think that would be okay to do. So there's a couple different ways to attack this Vancouver team. I think everyone's just going to be on the other side. That's fine. It's understandable. The Rangers' PK sucks. The Rangers are not a good defensive team. So, of course, there's reasons to like them, but I think it's a little bit more interesting to talk about the Rangers side, because we do have some some pretty good options here. But I don't know if it's going to be Kreider that moves up. So trying to get inside coaches' heads is always a slippery slope, right? Just when you think we got it figured out, they like Tortorella. Just when you think you've got him figured out and you think you got to stay off the lines because he's going to switch them all up, he keeps them together. These guys, you just never really know for sure. So we're just making our educated guesses here. I think there's a good chance that the Rangers 1 sticks together and the Rangers 2 for that matter. I kind of do like this third line for the Rangers in terms of like ranking them on a third line basis. So there's not really that many great third lines, and a lot of people won't dip down to third lines, but compared to like this one, and this one's actually okay as well. So there's this one, those are going to be owned. I don't want to mess with any third liners here. I don't want to mess with any third liners here. So I don't know. They're probably a top 3 third line on the night. They're going to be a top 3 third line in exposure for me tonight in 150. If that's really saying much, you get Buchnevich on the top power play. But I do think they're in play at the very least, and you can't really say that about the last game we just talked about. All right, I think that's probably good for Rangers forwards. Rangers 1 is what I'm going to be heaviest on. Pionk played on the top power play in the last game. He's under 4K. He's pretty much your clear option. Shattenkirk not on that top power play definitely hurts him. He was a healthy scratch last game or the game before, and so kind of in the doghouse right now. So it's really just Pionk for me. I don't know that I'm going to be taking a bunch of shots here with any of Stahl or Brendan Smith or Clayson. Brady Shea is a little bit too expensive as well. So I think you just play the obvious guy with Pionk. You just kind of play the best skaters on a team that's pretty thin. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a chance of that, Matt. They were down 2-0. They switched the lines and came back. Seems reasonable that they go with what they ended with. Yeah, so in that case, I mean, it wouldn't be too difficult, because if that happens, you've got Edel and Jesper Fast both within a few hundred of each other. So it wouldn't be the worst swap in the world. It's not like yesterday where you had, who was it, Bonino with Craig Smith, and we thought it was going to be Granlund, but all of a sudden it was Arvidsson, who was whatever $1,500 more expensive, and you're handcuffed at that point. You can't do anything unless you somehow have defensemen and all your Nashville, like expensive defensemen in your Nashville 1 stacks. So that was really frustrating. That type of thing is always tough. It's really tough to prepare for that kind of thing. But these guys are close enough in price. The pricing is soft enough that I think you can get away with playing these lines and then adjusting if necessary. You could also, and I don't know that I would do this, but I guess it's an option to. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to switch to Yossi, or you'd have to switch away from Yossi, which sucks, because you want Yossi for the 4-man. Like he's a big part of that stack. I think what you could do if you were worried about that, Matt, is make a rule in Fantasy Cruncher where if you play one of these top 2 lines, you must have a group of defensemen that are, let's say, you can include like $3,500 guys and up in this last game. So you would include Edler, Tanev, Pionk. So then if that does happen, then you at least have an option to swap down. Now, it's not going to be pretty. You're the defenseman. But it's at least an option that you could do. New York Rangers versus Vancouver is the championship. Nice job, DraftKings. What is that? Showdown of the Week championship? Oh, yeah, that's... Here, let me pull this up. They didn't... DraftKings just here. They basically just made the same tournaments and then called them championships. Now this is a little bit bigger. I mean, woohoo! This is a little bit bigger, but you know, to put the word championship in there, I don't know. It doesn't really do much for me. Like, make the contest bigger then and call it a championship. They did make the $20 a little bit bigger yesterday. I don't know. Yeah, what is this? So just because they call it a championship, it's just a worse payout structure, honestly. Nothing really changes here. They made it a tiny bit bigger. They increased the entry fee or whatever. And look at this, just so they could say 2K up top. I mean, okay. Am I going to play it? Probably. I'm probably going to play it. I'll probably be tilting after Chicago 3 binks everything before the slate even starts. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of weak for calling it a championship or whatever, all their tournaments. Let's see some NBA All-Star break stuff on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays for that matter. So it might have overlay if we are lucky. I don't even know if it's going to overlay. They never take any risks on those slates, so it's hard for them to overlay. Yeah, there's just not much to play tonight, honestly. Outside of I like the $5, of course. You know, I played the $5, but it's not like you can get a ton of volume on these short slates. Looks like they made another poke check. This is going to fill in about 20 minutes. Yeah, this is brutal. Hopefully they get Showdown cooking a little bit, because once we get to the conference finals, it's only going to be Showdown. I mean, you can just see it from here. And it'll be fun in the Stanley Cup finals and stuff. It'll be cool to have some Showdown slates, and I think Showdown slates are still they're beatable for sure. But yeah, just offer the $5 every day. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Just let me get 150 in every day for my selfish reasons. All right, is there anything else you guys want to see before we get going here? Got almost an hour out of the stream, which I didn't think I was going to get. Who do you think wins the cup? Probably Tampa. Yeah, there's probably more edge and showdowns right now, if you figure them out, considering they are relatively new. Well, and if you think about it, like, where there's going to be edges and showdown, some people don't watch the regular season NHL, but they will watch the postseason, especially once it gets later in the postseason, we get to Stanley Cup. I'll talk about Vancouver, really quick. But there's going to be a lot more, like, the contest will be bigger or whatever. There'll be more casuals just saying, oh, I'm watching this game, so might as well throw in a showdown lineup or whatever. Maybe NBA people watching the Stanley Cup playoffs and maybe not being the most informed or experienced in playing showdown. So there's going to be an edge in it for sure. Just whether or not you can realize it over the course of just a few showdown slates. Yeah, so I originally liked the Horvat line. I liked it a lot with Virtanen on the top line instead of Pearson. Pearson's really tough for me to actually want to click on. Good thing I use an optimizer for the most part. Roussel, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't really do much for me anyways. So Horvat, if I was one-offing, would be a really heavy target of mine. He's just kind of a peripheral, just stud. Like, he blocks shots, plays a bunch of minutes, plays top power play, gets low ownership as well a lot. So I mean, I really like Horvat by himself. I'm just not sure that line is the greatest as far as a line that I really want to go heavy on. This is going to be the one that's going to be chalky. You've got Levo fully correlated, and Rangers, again, bad PK. So there's not really anything interesting I can say about Vancouver too. They're underpriced. They are fully correlated. They are going to be really chalky. Probably. So it's going to be McDavid, Draisaitl first, and then I think Toronto 1 and 2 in some order. Vancouver 2 is going to be right behind them, and then everyone else is going to be way, way behind, I think, outside of maybe like Patrick Kane by himself. But yeah, that's why I like Rangers 1. I like Devils 1. Flames got a real shot. I mean, they had been struggling before that. No Bachelor segment today? I mean, what's there to talk about? We knew it was going to happen, and it happened. So, did you watch Ricky Bobby? I mean, I'm assuming if you're asking for a Bachelor segment that you gave it a peek. It's all right. Bachelorette starts in like a few weeks, I think, or maybe it's in the summer. Maybe we got like a couple months. I don't exactly remember. Degenerate programming, yeah. I mean, I'd agree with that. I mean, I play DFS every day, so I would probably fall into that degenerate category in more than one facet of my life. So, all right, well, cool. We looked at some stuff from last night. Gave you guys a quick preview of everything going on tonight. Just kind of playing the ownership game a little bit, not going too heavy on the chalk. Also, not avoiding it. Yes, I'm very much ready for MLB. Very, very much ready for MLB. MLB is awesome. I'm going to miss the first couple of days. I don't know if I've told you guys. I'll be gone for about a week, and then it'll cross over. I'll miss the first, like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But I will definitely be playing, and we'll be getting involved in some MLB stuff that we do on Awesemo.com. By the way, if you guys do... Let me see if I can find this. Oh, here it is. I had it pulled up. If you guys do like MLB stuff, yeah, that's all it is. Read this article right here. Alex just came out with this. Awesemo. I believe that's free. I'm assuming that's free. Read what he has to say. Yeah, he added a bunch of new stuff, so I haven't even read this yet. And, I mean, one of his best sports, if not his best sport, is baseball. He is so good at baseball, as is Tom, as is Eddie, Adam, shit my money. I mean, we've got a lot of really good MLB guys. So, yes, I think as a whole, we're very excited for MLB. And, yeah, it's going to be good. So hopefully we get a little bit more timeless content like this coming out, like overall general strategy. But, of course, there'll be ownership projections, articles, free, premium. Like, there will be, you will have more than enough MLB content. But I'm going to primarily be focusing more on NHL until they stop playing every day. So we won't forget about NHL once MLB starts. Don't worry, we won't forget. So if you're an NHL diehard, if it's your favorite sport, we're going to ride it out till the end. There will be live streams and stuff through the playoffs. Nolan and I will still be going at it pretty good. Yeah, got to get MLB Extra Innings or MLB TV. That is an absolute must. Same thing with NHL TV or Center Ice. You got to have that. Come on. NHL greater than MLB. I think I would agree. I am pretty excited for MLB this season, though. Like, I just like seeing the big prize pools. I'm a sucker for those. So hopefully we can take a couple down here this year. NHL equals MLB? Yeah, it depends on the day. Playing both, I think, is quite the tilt. Who are the chalky defensemen tonight on DK? All right. Morgan Riley. Clefbaum, and I would think Edler's going to be pretty chalky as well. Anybody I'm forgetting? Maybe Gustafsson? I wonder if Gustafsson. Yeah, I mean, Ricky Bobby. I don't know if MLB is his best, like, most profitable sport. I would imagine NFL is, just because there's so much volume in that. There's so many casuals. But he is really, really awesome at MLB. Yeah. And then Tom is too. So a lot of different guys with different strategies at our site that are really good at MLB DFS. So you won't be disappointed. I will let you guys know once we have the premium package being launched, or you'll see it in Slack or whatever. But as soon as you guys know, I will pass along the message for anyone that does not know about it by the time we get on stream. All right, good luck tonight, guys. Don't risk too much of your bankroll. Take a stand or two tonight, as always. Don't get crazy. You don't have to go in 50% on a 3% owned stack tonight. Just play the best plays and play as much of them as you possibly can. All right, see you tomorrow for a much more interesting slate. Good luck.